Just as they were about to leave the store for the night, Nick and his co-worker were standing near the entrance, debating whether they should just walk out and grab her keys from the back room later. The lights ahead of them were flickering non-stop, buzzing on and off, in a way that felt way too deliberate to be electrical. You can hear the hesitation in both their voices as they start recording, knowing they've dealt with strange things here before.
Okay guys, we were literally just about to leave my store when shit just started flickering again. This is the second time it's happened. My car's over there, and
I'm shaking right now.
Okay, and her keys are in the bag.
We need to go. We need to go get my keys.
And the light turned on.
I don't want to go.
Okay, well, I'm gonna literally record this whole thing just so you guys can see what happened. I'm literally so scared. Okay, okay, something. The bathroom light's on too.
Bro, why are my keys on the floor? They were not there. Like, I deadass put them on the desk. Like, oh my god. What the heck?
This is literally insane.
As they slowly walk toward the back, something on the front counter suddenly slides off and hits the floor, startling both of them. They freeze in place for a moment, unsure if they should keep going, but the woman advances because she needs her keys from the kitchen. They push forward even though neither of them wants to. When they finally reach the kitchen doorway, they realize the situation has only gotten worse. Random objects are scattered across the floor, like something had been tossing things around when nobody was in there. Nothing is moving now, the lights aren't flickering back here, and no one else is inside the store. But the aftermath is clear as day. Whatever was acting up wasn't finished until they came to see it. And Nick's expression says it all. This store has something in it, and it wasn't happy they tried to leave. In the direct continuation of their video, Nick and his co-worker are now sitting in the back room, huddled around the security monitors while trying to figure out what to do next. They're already nearly 50 minutes past the end of their shift, too scared to walk through the store again, but too nervous to stay inside any longer. As Nick walks around to show something they missed earlier, a thud happens right beside him off-screen, like something had just been thrown across the room. They both jump instantly, backing away from one another while in panic.
Okay guys, we've been sitting in the back for like 20 minutes now, and we're just watching the cameras and stuff is still flickering and going on, but nothing happened back here, and we need to go home, and this is so freaking terrifying.
We're 50 minutes past our shift because of this shit.
We closed at 10, so we need to like, it's so dark because all the light switches are over here.
Stop it, go.
Okay, this is what I mean. This room is over. This is.
Oh my god.
This is what we're dealing with.
Oh my god, yeah. What? Bro, Nick, did you on purpose?
I.
Did you fake this? No, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, Nick.
Stop! You're literally. Are you?
No, wait, no. Nah.
No. We literally looked away for like 2 seconds.
Eventually, they decide they can't stay in the building, so they head outside to wait for the manager. Standing by the front windows, they keep an eye on the dark store through the glass, filming just in case anything else happens. That's when the lights above the front counters begin to sway back and forth, slow but deliberate, as if something inside was pacing beneath them. Nobody's in the building now, the AC is off, and the doors are locked. Yet the fixtures keep swinging overhead like someone is still walking around in there. Nick's co-worker started saying she's done coming in for late shifts after the recording, and Nick doesn't even argue. After everything they just watched happen, it's pretty clear the store isn't empty at all. A few days later, Nick is back on shift, this time during the daytime when the store should feel a lot less eerie. But the moment he starts recording, it becomes obvious that whatever's been happening hasn't stopped at all.
Okay, we're gonna peace out for the night. Okay, we're gonna peace out for the night. This is, I can't even put the key in. This is what we deal with at Swirls and Twirls, and no one believes us because who would? Who really would? And the backlight's still on.
This place is fucking possessed by a demon, so I'm
No,
quitting.
the light's still on.
Like, which one?
I don't think we turned it off though, but now the machine lights are on. Good. This is this is great. This is great. Okay, guys, I'm here alone. It's a few days later, and it's 6 o'clock. I'll show you the time. The lights are freaking flickering again. The music is being wacky. The speakers are in the ceiling. Like, this is literally insane. And now they stopped. And now they're like, this is what I mean. Nothing. Like, I don't know how to explain this. The switch is right here. This is.
The overhead lights are flickering again, brightening and dimming in quick bursts even though the weather's calm, and the power in the rest of the building is perfectly steady. As he walks through the kitchen, you can hear the store's music cutting in and out, switching itself off for a few seconds before randomly coming back on at full volume, like someone is messing with the system behind the scenes. Nick keeps panning the camera around to show that he's alone up front. No customers and no co-workers near the switches or speakers. The atmosphere feels completely wrong for the middle of the day, almost like the store is trying to prove that time doesn't matter. Whatever made the late night shift so terrifying is still here, still active, and now it isn't even waiting for the dark. Nick seems very frightened a little near the end, and he later says he doesn't get paid enough for this. And honestly, after everything that's happened, he might be right. Here's the smooth, seamless continuation in your exact TS format, with the transitions flowing naturally into the previous clips. From the woman's perspective now, the video switches to her filming as she and Nick sit together in the back room, scrolling through the CCTV footage to make sense of everything. She explains how, earlier that night, one of the chairs in the front seating area randomly fell over, and the lights all across the store were flickering at the same time, almost like the whole building was reacting to something they couldn't see. They're both pointing at the monitor, talking quietly about which camera angle to check next, when suddenly, a strange noise echoes from somewhere outside the room. It's loud enough to cut their conversation short instantly. They freeze, stare at each other, and within a second, both get up and run out of the office in panic, leaving the camera pointed at the floor.
Hey, it's 11:29. Me and Nick were supposed to leave here at 11 o'clock, but weird shit is happening.
A chair fell. There's lights
Literally,
flickering on the machines.
there is lights flickering everywhere.
A chair fell.
It's freaking me out.
Holly, what the f is that? There's actual footsteps going on in the ceiling right now, and something just fell over here. Is anyone there?
I'm scared. Oh, stop! Stop! Oh my god! Stop!
The footage then cuts directly to the CCTV from earlier that night, showing the exact moment the chair fell. There's no one around it, nothing touching it, and the fall is so sudden it looks like it had been yanked. Right after that, the video switches to handheld footage again, now from the woman's phone, as she joyfully walks through the store. As she approaches the front counter, something crashes loudly to her right. She swings the camera over, and the cash register that had been sitting up on the counter is now on the floor, tipped over on its back like it was pushed hard. She gasps instantly. This entire chain of events makes it obvious that whatever is in the store isn't tied to the time of day, the number of people around, or whether anyone is watching. It shows itself whenever it wants to, and this time it was making sure both of them saw it. A man named Joseph had been dealing with strange noises coming from his bathroom for a few days, so he finally decided to set up a camera facing the bathroom door to see if he could catch anything on film. He explained that he'd leave it rolling for a few hours while he relaxed in bed, hoping the noises would happen again. Take a look.
So I've been hearing some strange noises coming from this bathroom. And so I'm going to set up this camera to record and see if we catch anything. I've never caught anything on camera before, so I'm hoping that this might be the first time, but kind of sounds like scratches.
For almost an hour, nothing unusual happens, just the quiet hum of the house and the faint reflection of the hallway lights on the bathroom mirror. But then, without any warning, as the man enters his room after getting a drink, a dark shadow suddenly enters the frame. It appears on the right side of the mirror, shaped unmistakably like a human figure peeking into the bathroom. It pauses for a brief moment, almost as if watching, then quickly pulls back out of view as if it realized it had been caught. Joseph wasn't in the bathroom, nobody else was in the house, and the angle of the camera makes it clear this wasn't a trick of the light. Something had approached that doorway, looked inside, and retreated. Whatever had been making those noises wasn't imaginary at all, and now he finally had proof it was watching him. In the follow-up clip, he explains that people kept asking for an update after the incident, so he decided to film again to show exactly what had been happening. He starts in the bathroom with the camera pointed around the small space, proving there is nothing hiding behind the door or in the shower, before he switches the light off, saying the spirit never seems to like it when the room is bright. He then walks out and sits down on the small couch across from the hallway, the house silent, except for his breathing as he keeps the camera aimed at the doorway where the shadow had appeared the night before. He tries to sound calm, almost joking, and jokingly says peekaboo toward the dark corridor.
All right, guys, so you wanted an update. So here is the shower. That's where the cat goes to the bathroom, so nobody's in there. Nobody's in the bathroom. Nothing's behind the door. All right, we're turning the light off because it doesn't like the light. Here's my fiance.
I don't want to be on camera.
Okay.
I don't think we should be engaging it.
It's fine. It hasn't done anything. It's not really being too, like, creepy or anything. It just does. So, we've been playing peekaboo. Peekaboo!
A second later, something steps fully into view. A tall shadow shaped unmistakably like a person moves into the doorway, perfectly outlined yet completely black, as if absorbing the light around it. He gasps and jerks back in the seat before it disappears when the clip ends. There is no sound of footsteps, no breathing, no retreating movement. Whatever was haunting him had finally shown itself clearly. In the third part of Joseph's saga, he starts the video by admitting he might have messed up by provoking whatever is in his home with the last peekaboo clip. He sounds nervous this time, the camera shaking slightly as he stands in the bedroom. He explains that ever since the shadow stepped into view, things in the bathroom have gotten noticeably worse, and he hasn't been able to sleep properly. Then, right as he's talking, the sounds begin.
Okay, guys. I think I fucked up a little bit. You hear that? What the f is that? Charlie, the cat's right here. She doesn't seem to be worried about it.
A slow creaking echoes from inside the bathroom, the unmistakable sound of cabinet doors being tugged or pushed from the inside. Joseph seems very scared, and the noise continues in short bursts, like something is testing them. To prove nothing living could be responsible, he pans the camera down to show his cat sitting curled next to him on the bed, wide awake and staring toward the hallway. Joseph points out that the cat has been with him the entire time, and clearly isn't the one making the noise. And I should add that it's especially since it refuses to go anywhere near the bathroom now. The creaking grows louder for a moment, then stops abruptly, leaving the entire apartment silent again. Joseph knows that he definitely pissed the spirit off, and he's starting to think filming was a mistake. Whatever had revealed itself in the doorway last time now seemed to be actively moving things in the bathroom, and the tension in the air made it clear this haunting was far from over. In the final part of Joseph's saga, he decides he's had enough. The sleepless nights, the shadow figures, the noises from the bathroom, all of it had pushed him to the edge. And this time, he stands directly in the doorway, holding the camera out in front of him. His voice is shaky, but he tries to sound firm as he tells the spirit that it needs to leave, saying they are done with its bull and that it is no longer welcome in his home. He barely finishes the sentence when everything shifts for the worse.
All right. I appreciate all the well wishes. I haven't been getting great sleep lately. I don't know if it's because of this, but I'm going to take your advice. It's been slamming the doors again this morning. I'm just going to tell it to get the f*** out of here. Okay? All right, this is it. You are not welcome here. You need to leave. We are done with your bullshit. We are not going to take it anymore, okay? You need to get the f*** out. No, this is bullshit.
A deep, guttural growl erupts from inside the dark bathroom, low enough to rattle the doorframe, and before he can even process what he heard, the bathroom door slams shut with terrifying force right in front of him. Joseph jumps back, swearing under his breath, but still forces himself to grab the handle and push the door open again. Inside, the bathroom is completely empty. No movement, no noise, nothing that could have caused the growl or the slam. The tension in his voice is obvious as he steps all the way in, panning around the room to prove there is no one hiding. The air feels heavier than before, and he admits on camera that he and his cat have been avoiding this room altogether. After this final encounter, Joseph says they're both seriously considering moving out. Whatever is in that bathroom made it clear it wasn't going anywhere, and now it wasn't afraid to show its anger. Athena was on vacation at Myrtle Beach when she decided to record a quick video from her balcony, mostly just panning the camera around to show the ocean, the boardwalk, and the people below. She's calm the entire time, sounding relaxed and completely unaware that something else is happening behind her, until she pans the camera.
Beautiful Myrtle Beach.
As Athena slowly turns the camera back toward the sliding glass door that leads inside her hotel room, something incredibly disturbing appears for just a moment. Behind the sheer curtain, a strange girl peeks out from the side, only her face visible in a quick, stiff motion before she pulls back out of sight. The figure doesn't move naturally, and its face looks real, but uncanny at the same time. What makes the whole thing even more unsettling is Athena has no reaction whatsoever. She keeps recording like nothing happened, clearly seeing the girl, but likely entering freeze mode. Viewers pointed out that no one else was supposed to be in her room, and whatever that was standing behind the curtain definitely wasn't a normal person. A group of 4 friends were having a casual sleepover, hanging out late into the night while one of them had already knocked out on the sofa. The guy recording was just messing around with his phone, filming another friend who was standing in the kitchen grabbing snacks. Nothing unusual at first, just normal sleepover energy, That's until something crazy happened. Take a look.
Aí, fim da festa aí, pessoal. Ó, comprei a câmera nova. Vamos colocar um vídeo no YouTube aí, ó.
Ai, que vergonha, não faz isso.
A Josi capotada já, com sono. Aí, Thiago, a câmera que eu comprei nova aí.
Bebeu demais.
Vermelhinha e tal. Vocês nem esperaram pra festa aí, né, mano? Meu Deus do céu, que porra é essa, velho? Mano, eu vi uma coisa aqui, Thiago. Tem alguma coisa que passou aqui, velho.
Ih, velho.
Tô falando sério, cara. Tô falando sério. Vem aqui comigo, cara.
Tem nada aqui não.
Eu vi uma coisa assim, cara.
Tá louco, mano?
Maluco. Eu vou voltar a câmera. E você vai ver, velho.
As the camera focuses on the friend in the kitchen, something unexpected happens in the background. Behind him, a human-shaped figure glides across from one side to the other. It doesn't walk so much as it moves, too smoothly, almost like it was floating rather than stepping. The person filming immediately pans around to check, but there's nobody there at all. Every person who should have been in the house is accounted for, including the one who jumped up from their sleep. The movement was too fluid, too silent, and too fast to be any of them. Whatever that figure was, it wasn't a friend sneaking around. It was something else entirely, and everyone watching the footage agreed it looked anything but human. In the following video, Keisha was lying in bed with her baby girl, Ima, trying to settle her down for an afternoon nap. She had her phone propped up, casually recording the moment as she softly sang a lullaby, while Ima played with a little hairbrush in her tiny hand. The room was calm and warm, with both of them feeling nice about the moment, but then a shift happened.
Ah! Sorry. Qué linda manita que tiene la bebé. Qué linda, qué bella, qué preciosa es. Come on, do it. Do the hand thing. Qué linda, qué... Good. You do it.
Ima is looking up at her mom, both confused and content, when the hairbrush suddenly yanks downward out of her hand in a way no baby that age could pull on their own. It drops sharply to the mattress, and Ima's eyes dart down, surprised. Throughout the moment, several orbs drift across the screen, small and bright, moving almost intentionally. Keisha keeps singing, completely unaware anything strange just happened, assuming her daughter simply dropped it. But when she watched the footage back later, she immediately realized the brush didn't fall naturally at all. It was pulled. She uploaded the clip after noticing how the orbs appeared at the exact same time, convinced that something unseen had been right there beside them while she was trying to put her daughter to sleep. Suspicious of a paranormal presence in the house, a woman was casually filming someone sitting on the couch in their living room, just recording a normal moment without expecting anything strange to happen at all. The person on the couch is relaxed, scrolling on their phone, and everything in the room seems completely quiet and normal. Then something in the background shifts in a way that is hard to explain. A strange right over the person's shoulders into the frame, almost like something quickly darted across the space behind them. The woman holding the camera reacts instantly, gasping as she rushes forward and grabs the camera, hoping nothing else would follow up. There is no one else in the room, no pets, no shadows that could have caused it, but the movement was unmistakable. It happened close enough to the person on the couch that if something was there, it was right behind them. After reviewing the footage later, she realized how unnerving it actually was, and the fact that it moved so close without either of them noticing makes the moment even more chilling. Michelle was filming again with her phone, sitting a few feet from a small decorative paper dragon hanging on the wall. She'd been dealing with activity for a while, and decided to ask whatever was in the house to move something, hoping to finally catch undeniable proof. At first, the paper dragon only shook a little, swaying in these tiny movements that could have been written off as airflow, and Michelle even said she wasn't convinced by that alone.
Well, I picked up Trevor before you did.
Yeah, but it might not be him moving it.
Oh, I see.
Is it Trevor moving it? Move it again. You'll have to do better than that.
God. Did you see that one? You know. Do it again, I saw it. Can you have a replay?
I can't. You have to do better than that. Thank you.
God. I know it is, it's the clock.
No, the clock's not working.
Oh God, is it working?
Thank you very much. So that is you then, Trevor?
Yeah, it is. Did you see it move?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Can you do anything else?
We'll sit down now.
Without any warning, the dragon suddenly jolted in a sharp, deliberate motion, snapping sideways hard enough that Michelle and her sister both gasped at the exact same time. Their reactions were instant and completely genuine, immediately backing away from it as Michelle asked out loud if it was Trevor, her husband who had passed, trying to get through to them. There was no answer, no voice, no follow-up movement, but the single violent jolt was enough to shake both of them. Even in the silence afterward, the atmosphere in the room felt heavy, like someone else was standing there just out of frame, listening but choosing not to reveal more. A little kid was being filmed in the living room, while his dad tried to capture a cute moment. But the clip ended up being anything but cute. Everything is normal at first, until music suddenly starts playing from somewhere. Not loud, but just eerie enough to catch the kid's attention.
A ver. ¿Qué carajo? Mames. Quédate, hijo, quédate. No mames. Amor. No me lo vas a creer.
He slowly turns his head toward the door, and in the glass panel on it, you can clearly see movement behind the glass, like a person shifting or walking past. The kid's eyes go wide and he keeps staring, confused and a little scared. His dad instantly reacts, before rushing outside to check who or what could have been standing there. But once he gets outside, there is nothing. No footsteps, no shadows, no signs of anyone walking past the door at all. Whatever appeared behind that glass wasn't a real person, and the kid definitely sensed it before the adult did. The upcoming clip is very disturbing, and a small group is gathered around an extremely unsettling doll, dressed in a long white gown, something they had been investigating because of reports that it could move on its own. At first, they're simply holding its hands and supporting it as they walk it slowly up and down the sidewalk, almost like they're testing whether the movements are intentional or mechanical. The creepy part is how naturally its legs move, lifting and stepping with perfect rhythm, more precise than anything a simple prop should be able to do. Its joints bend smoothly, ligaments shifting in a way that looks disturbingly lifelike for a doll. They eventually decide to stop assisting it and let go of its arms completely.
Y con las dos manos sí caminó, ¿verdad? Con usted. ¿Y nunca se le ha salido?
Se asoma por la ventana cuando yo me salgo a un mandado que no hay nadie. La tengo en mi cuarto y yo por aquí no está en nada.
Ajá.
En la ventana o en otro lado.
No, la estiro y no.
¿Qué onda, Fabián?
Se asegura, mira.
A ver,
Bien.
Yuma.
Ahorita para que la señora la cambie. Agárrala, no pasa nada.
Agárrala, hijo.
Mira, agárrala.
Mira. Mira, mira, mira. Mira. ¿Ya viste? Más con su dueña. Mira, ya dio la vuelta. Es aquí en Saltillo. Es... Agárrala de... ¡Oh, mira, con Eder sí quiso! No, ya no va a querer. Con Eder, con Yair camina poquito. Con él camina poquito.
¿Qué se siente? Nada.
Fíjese que... Entonces cuando no está usted, ella se asoma.
Sí, a veces que vengo a la tienda, otros días a un señor y a una señora, y a varios, aquí esperándome.
Ajá.
Y usted la vio en la muñeca, sí. Dice, pues mire, su muñeca está asomando por la ventana. Y que me va sacando. Es que la dejo en mi cuarto, como se acuesta conmigo, ahí la dejo. Y yo me salgo, y ya para cuando pienso la encuentro en otro lado, o en otro cuarto, o así.
Pero eso se debe a lo que dice que...
The group steps back, half laughing and half terrified, but the moment their hands leave, it is the moment everything feels wrong. The doll twitches, one leg shifting slightly forward like it's trying to take another step, even without anyone touching it. Nobody can deny what they just saw. The group stares in silence, slowly backing away from it, realizing they may have been guiding something that didn't really need their help to move at all. The man in the upcoming video appeared to be working an early shift and was sitting inside what looked like an indoor forklift, breathing heavily and sounding genuinely distressed as he started recording the rear mirror in front of him. He had been hearing things around the back of the complex and finally decided to see if he could catch whatever it was.
¿Qué onda? Ando aquí acomodando unas tarimas en el monte y desde hace rato siento como que algo se asoma de ahí atrás. A ver si lo alcanzo a grabar. Mira, 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 mira. ¡Ah, la verga! Mira. ¡Ah! No mames, sí se vio. ¡Ah, la verga! Pero no hay nadie. Aquí adentro estoy yo solo.
As he slowly began reversing the forklift, the mirror suddenly caught something that made him gasp. A black figure, there but not fully solid, almost like a shadow, ducked behind a stack of pallets the moment the vehicle moved. He froze for a second before stepping out with the camera pointed straight ahead, while calling out to see if anyone was there. He walked all the way toward the back where the thing had been, showing every corner and every open space, but there was nothing at all. No footsteps, no shadows, no place for anything to hide. The fact that the figure was only visible through the mirror made the whole moment even stranger, and his panicked breathing made it clear he knew he had just seen something he was never supposed to. An Instagram user has been documenting what he calls experiments with the entity that supposedly lives in his basement. At first, people thought he was just making skits, but the footage keeps getting harder to explain. In one video, the sound of slow, deliberate footsteps can be heard making their way halfway up the basement stairs.
This Instagram user posted experiments they have been doing with the paranormal entity in their basement. There are footsteps. Then the balloon is hit by an unseen force. In a second video, more footsteps are followed by the owner's hand being slapped. Finally, he tries one more experiment. Watch what happens.
Moments later, a blue balloon begins bouncing by itself in the air, not rolling or drifting, but bouncing, as though someone unseen was hitting it upward from below. A few days later, he recorded again after hearing the same footsteps. This time they climbed all the way to the top and stopped right in front of him. The camera captures his arm jerking back twice as two clear slaps echo through the basement, even though nobody visible was there. The final clip is the most unsettling. He holds a roll of toilet paper at the top of the stairs, indirectly daring the spirit in the basement to do something about it. The footsteps start again, slow and heavy, and then the roll begins to unravel itself slightly, but not to an extent that was too crazy. Viewers called it one of the clearest pieces of interaction footage they'd ever seen. It was concrete evidence that whatever's in that basement isn't just moving objects, it's responding. A little girl was sitting on the floor, playing with some of her toys, when she suddenly started talking to someone who wasn't there. At first, upon checking the camera, her parents thought she was just pretending, the way most kids do. But as she kept going, it became unsettling. She could be heard greeting someone and using a name her parents recognized instantly, Grandma Eckersley, a family member who had passed away, and they were still deeply upset by her passing. She spoke with warmth and familiarity, describing her as an angel and telling her about her toys, as though carrying on a genuine conversation. What made it all the more chilling was how naturally she spoke, because it was very clear that this wasn't just the result of a wild imagination. The parents watched the footage in silence, torn between fear and disbelief. Many online have said that young children are more receptive to things adults can't see. And if that's true, this little girl might have been speaking to someone who never really left. Built back in 1887, the house Noah lived in carried a long and eerie history. Locals say the spirits of the original homeowners never left, and after 3 years inside those walls, Noah had no doubt about it. The knocks always came at night, steady and deliberate, like someone on the other side of the door refusing to leave.
Jesus loves me, yes I know. Built in 1887, this home was haunted by the original homeowners, Judson Hood and his wife Mary Pogue. I lived here for 3 years and just released my 10-part series explaining the history of the home and how it eventually burnt down.
Mary. Mary girl. Ooh, I'm covered in goosebumps. Mary, I know you just died 106 years ago, bitch. Give it up, Mary. Cut it out. Come on, Mary, for real. You done said your piece 106 times. Die. Go to the grave. This shit's creepy. I'll give it to you since it's your death dates or whatever. Happy 106th day in heaven. I hope you're in heaven.
I called 911.
Jesus loves me, yes I know, for the Bible. Come on, girl. What do you want? Normally you shut up when I come down here. I'm gonna try to run past it. Hey, Mary. Mary, can you stop? Mary! Stop! Creepy ass painting. I am not cut out for this shit, y'all. My motherfucking rosary.
This time, Noah decided to speak directly to whatever was there, asking it to stop, but the knocking only grew louder and faster, like it was angry. His voice shakes slightly as he warns it again, telling the presence to go away, to rest, but it doesn't stop. The sound keeps echoing through the hallway until he tells the spirit behind it to return to the grave where it came from. The moment the words leave his mouth, the video cuts out completely. The knocking didn't stop that night. A few days later, Noah posted another video. This time, the knocks had returned, louder than ever. The camera shows him halfway down the stairs, his voice tired and frustrated as he films the front door closely.
If you could just please stop. I'm trying to sleep. This is the third time you got me up. I'm here, so come on, what do you need? What are you trying to...
As soon as he stops to catch his breath, the knocking stops too. Like whatever's there is listening to him. He stands still for a few seconds, trying to process it, then speaks again, this time softer, asking the ghost to please stop because he's just trying to sleep. For a moment, there's silence. No movement, no sound, just the hum of the house in the middle of the night. Then suddenly, a scary demon jumped out, except it was actually an edit he added later of himself as a joke, something to break the tension up. But even with that small edit, viewers pointed out how real his fear seemed, how cautious he was walking down those stairs. A few nights later, Noah uploaded yet another video, saying he hadn't been sleeping properly since the last incident. The knocking had changed this time, and was not coming from the door anymore, but from the walls themselves.
Shh. Can y'all please just walk me down, please?
Hello? If you can hear me, please stop. Why are you going faster?
Oh, fuck no.
The recording starts with him getting out of bed in frustration, the camera shaking as the loud thuds echo through the house. He walks to the same midpoint of the stairs where it always seems to happen, calling out, "Hello," and demanding the ghost to stop. For a brief moment, the sounds pause, the house falling completely silent. Then, just as he begins to back away, the knocking resumes, except faster, sharper, almost rhythmic, like it's responding directly to him. His breathing quickens, the tension building as he stays frozen on the stairs. Eventually, it stops just as suddenly as it started, leaving an eerie quiet behind. Noah whispers to himself and slowly retreats back up the steps, clearly terrified to even look back. Whatever is haunting that house isn't finished with him yet. The video begins with the sound of heavy breathing, the man clearly unsettled as he films a see-through section of his wall to capture something very peculiar. As the camera pans toward the kitchen window, a small child can be seen standing perfectly still on the other side, its outline clear against the dim light. For a few tense seconds, neither of them moves. Then, when he finally gathers the courage to turn the corner and check, there's nobody there. No child, no sound, just the faint creaking of the house settling. He steps farther into the room, scanning around with his camera, and that's when a cupboard door suddenly shuts on its own, slamming with force. A whisper follows right after, barely audible, but enough to make him flinch and drop a curse under his breath. The clip cuts abruptly after that, leaving viewers questioning who, or what, that child in the window really was. Zark uploaded what he called the scariest night his family had ever experienced. The video starts with him, his wife, and their young son lying in bed, the woman trying to comfort the child, while Zark decides to get up and see what's going on.
नहीं तुम बच्चे के साथ रहो नहीं तो वो डरेगा No mama, you take care of mommy. Daddy will come soon. पूरा सामान गिरा हुआ है या इधर भी पूरा कवर गिरा हुआ है
He walks slowly toward the door, opens it carefully, and peers into the hallway where nothing is there. The house is silent except for the faint hum of appliances, but as he moves into the kitchen, things start to make sense, and not in a good way. Items are scattered across the floor. A cupboard is wide open, and his son's small bike has toppled over near the counter. Even a wall cover that had been perfectly secured earlier is now lying on the ground. Zark lifts it back up, presses it against the wall, and right as he does, the footage glitches. The image blurs, and the power cuts off. A moment later, the video transitions to CCTV footage he recorded earlier that night. The camera shows the cupboard door opening by itself, objects falling out one by one, the bike tipping over without anyone nearby, and finally the cover slipping down the wall on its own. Everything happens in complete silence. No people, no movement other than the objects themselves. Zark has no explanation for any of it EL, and neither do experts. All we know is that whatever's in that house made itself known to all of them that night. Dashcam footage dated July the 18th, 2021 at exactly 10 o'clock at night shows what might be one of the eeriest captures ever taken on a highway. The car is driving steadily down a dimly lit stretch of road, the lights from oncoming vehicles occasionally flashing across the windshield. For the first few seconds, everything looks perfectly normal. It's quiet, calm, and uneventful, but as the vehicle approaches a bend, something faint and human-shaped can be seen running along the side of the highway. Its outline is translucent, almost glowing against the darkness, moving at an unnatural speed, yet leaving no shadow, no sound, no trace on the road itself. The driver doesn't seem to notice, continuing straight ahead, while the figure gradually fades from view. When the footage was reviewed later, people were stunned by how clear the form appeared and how it seemed to match the movements of a real person, except for the fact that you could see right through it. Many now believe it wasn't a trick of light or reflection, but the ghost of someone still running that road, long after their time. In the following video, a duo of friends armed with flashlights were exploring an abandoned building late at night, hoping to capture whatever had been making the strange noises they kept hearing on earlier visits. It was only supposed to be a quick sweep through the corridors, but things escalated fast when they turned a corner. As they walk down a narrow hallway, their flashlights sweeping across peeling walls and scattered debris, they turn a corner and immediately freeze. Just ahead of them, a ghost-like figure floats upward, rising silently until it disappears completely out of sight above the doorway. The light catches just enough of it to show its shape before it vanishes, leaving the two friends completely stunned. They stand in that corner for a long moment, clearly unsettled, trying to figure out if they really saw what they think they saw. Eventually, they gather the courage to move forward and check the spot where the figure disappeared. But when they round the corner, the space is completely empty. No stairs, no ledges, nothing that something could have climbed or stood on. Whatever floated upward was gone, leaving them with no explanation at all. The next piece of footage was taken on the 17th of October 2012, right in the middle of the day, and it comes from a man named Michael, who insists he was completely alone in the house at the time. For about 10 minutes straight, he kept hearing footsteps going up and down his staircase, the kind of loud, clear steps you'd expect from a full-grown adult. Eventually, he grabbed his camera and started recording, because the sounds simply wouldn't stop, and he hoped to catch them as proof.
Okay, it's like the middle of the day. I'm the only person in the house, and just heard some footsteps going up and down the stairs. I've checked all the rooms. There is nobody in. It's been doing it for about 10 minutes. There it is again. Okay. Camera this time. Nothing there though. Hello. Shit. I'm gonna go have a look. This. Hello? Mike? Charlie?
As soon as he starts filming, you can hear it on camera too, that repetitive thudding of someone pacing the stairs. Michael walks out of his room and points the camera directly at the staircase, but there's nothing there. No movement, no shadows, nothing that explains the noise. Still, the footsteps continue, even while he's staring straight at the stairs. Suddenly, the sound changes. Whatever's on those stairs runs all the way up at full speed, but nothing ever appears in frame. Then, right at the top, the door slams shut, hard enough to shake Michael, stands frozen for a few seconds before finally building up the courage to go inside the room. It turns out to be nothing more than the bathroom, completely empty, no windows open, no one inside, no reason for anything he heard. After this incident, Michael admitted he's now looking to sell the home altogether. A man is standing just outside his bedroom, filming because he claims something in the house has been responding to him whenever he speaks in his native language. He's clearly unsettled, but he keeps the camera rolling as he talks quietly toward the dark hallway, almost as if he's addressing someone he can't see. Little do we know at this point that there is definitely someone there.
Voy a tratar de comunicarme con este ente como me dijeron. Se sienten paso. Si estás acá, prende la luz. ¿Qué? Estaba aquí en el baño, enciende de nuevo el agua. ¿Hay alguien más que tú aquí en esta casa? Mi vida corre peligro. Está de huella. Aquí no hay... Ah, no, yo me voy.
As he's speaking, the shower in the bathroom beside him suddenly turns itself on, spraying water for a second, before shutting off again. He stops mid-sentence, confused, and walks toward the door. The moment he steps inside, it happens a second time, the shower turning on and off, as if something is reacting to his presence. He stays there, wondering if it would happen again, and as expected, the shower triggers a third time, then a fourth, each burst short and deliberate like someone unseen is flicking the tap. Finally, he pulls the shower curtain aside to check for anything that could have caused it. But there's nothing. No loose pipe, no faulty handle, nothing in the tub. Whatever was answering him wasn't something he could see, but it was definitely listening. In the follow-up clip, Franco is still in the same house, this time sitting in his own bedroom with the camera pointed upward as he tries to calm himself after the shower incident. He earlier explained that things haven't stopped since that night, and the second he begins to film, the reasons become obvious. Above him, the ceiling light begins to sway back and forth, slowly at first, like something barely nudged it. Franco keeps filming, well aware that there's no draft, no windows open, nothing that could make it move. But then it starts swinging faster, almost violently, like someone was pushing it from side to side. He tried to stay steady, breathing hard, when something else happened out of nowhere. His bedroom door begins to close on its own, not slamming, but gently, almost politely, until it clicks shut. Franco freezes for a moment before finally mustering up the courage to stand and open it. The second he does, he jumps back in fear as his cat is suddenly sitting right at the threshold, staring up at him. The timing couldn't have been worse, and it terrified him even more. The activity hasn't stopped at all, and Franco is running out of explanations. In the third and most unsettling clip, Franco is back in the same bedroom again, determined to catch whatever has been lurking in his house. He points the camera toward the same doorway where the earlier activity happened, explaining that he keeps hearing movement outside his room late at night. Things escalate quickly.
Hay ruido en el primer piso. Está...
As he films the doorway, something faint moves at the very top of the staircase that leads downstairs. A dark, odd shadow briefly peeks around the corner, just enough to be seen before sliding out of sight again. Franco is very frightened and clearly shaken, but before he even has time to react properly, his bedroom door begins to shut once more. This time it doesn't slam or jolt. It closes normally, smoothly, almost deliberately, like someone was standing behind it and pushing it shut with care. Franco panics and immediately runs to pull the door back open, swinging the camera around the hallway. But just like every other moment in this house, there's nothing. No footsteps, no movement, no one who could have been responsible other than his white cat, who wouldn't have appeared so dark. Whatever is haunting Franco's home isn't done with him yet, and this clip only made things even more disturbing. Luke had been hearing strange voices around his house for a few nights in a row, and this time he finally worked up the nerve to start filming to prove he wasn't imagining it. He sets his camera on the doorway in front of him, trying to capture any sound or movement that might happen. Take a look.
I'm still hearing voices. Listen. Jesus Christ.
For a few seconds, everything is still, the room quiet, except for Luke's uneasy explanation. Then, from somewhere, just out of frame, another door in his room suddenly shuts on its own. It's loud enough that the camera picks it up clearly, even though it's completely off-screen. Luke jumps back with a genuinely shocked reaction, his words showing fear, but there's nothing. No wind, no movement, no shadows, just a door that somehow shut itself while he was lying right there. His reaction alone makes it clear he wasn't expecting it, and whatever voice he'd been hearing before clearly wasn't finished, making itself known. In the follow-up clip, Luke is on edge again because he starts hearing whispering near his room and decides to record once more, convinced that whatever had closed the door before is still around. As he films the room, a strange scattering sound begins coming from inside the walls, quick and uneven, like something crawling behind the plaster. At first, he tries to convince himself it might be a rodent, something normal, something that would at least make sense. But the longer he films, the more wrong it feels, because the scattering stops suddenly and is replaced by a clear whisper that comes from the far side of the room, nowhere near Luke, and definitely not from the walls. It's unmistakably human, low and intentional, and Luke's breathing picks up as he looks around at the empty room. Whatever is in that house with him is not an animal, and it's definitely not his imagination. Luke is still recording when he suddenly goes quiet, because 3 slow knocks hit his bedroom door, spaced out like someone is deliberately trying to get his attention. He stares at the door without moving, waiting to see if it was just the house settling, but then it happens again, the exact same pattern, a little louder this time. Luke takes a deep breath, trying to steady himself, whispering that he doesn't want to open it. Before he can even finish speaking, another round of knocks hits the door, faster now, almost impatient, followed by a final series that's even more aggressive, as if whatever is outside is getting bolder. He stays frozen, the camera shaking slightly in his hand, because the worst part is that he knows for a fact no one else is home. A man decided to explore an old abandoned building one night, filming as he went. The clip begins with him stepping carefully through a doorway into what used to be a kitchen, the counters covered in dust and old debris. He doesn't stay long there before heading back out, walking slowly down a long hallway while peeking into each room along the way. As he gets deeper into the building, faint singing can suddenly be heard echoing through the halls. It's distant at first, almost like a choir singing, but as he keeps walking toward it, the sound grows clearer, and so do the footsteps that follow it. He knows other people are in that building with him. The singing abruptly stops, leaving only the creaking of the old floorboards under his feet. Then, a few seconds later, it starts again, this time further away, as if leading him somewhere. The tension builds as knocking sounds join in, followed by loud bangs echoing through the lower floor. He finally decides to follow the noise down a narrow staircase, the camera shaking in his hand. But as soon as he gets about midway, the air changes into something cold and heavy, and he turns back, whispering that he's done. The video ends with him hurrying back toward the exit, clearly realizing he was not alone in that building and there was something off. Jefferson had managed to collect some security footage from the hotel he worked at, a place already rumored to be haunted for years. But this time, the evidence was far more unsettling than anyone expected. The first clip comes from the hotel kitchen late at night when no one was supposed to be inside.
Alright, here's some crazy stuff that happens on this video. You're not going to believe some of this. I don't even believe it myself, but we've tried to debunk best we can. Watch all this stuff on the left side, and we're going to go through it here in a minute and show you the full video. I just want to show you everything we captured last night. Movement, all of that stuff. These bananas, watch these bananas right here. They go flying right there. So, that's not the only thing we caught. A light flash, look at this light flash. All of this happened with the same.
Several items can be seen shifting on their own with utensils clattering, trays sliding, and at one point, a whole bunch of bananas suddenly flings across the room as if thrown by an unseen force. The camera shakes slightly as the movement triggers motion detection, then cuts to another angle from the lobby. There, the grand chandelier that hangs close to the staircase begins to flicker erratically, casting long, eerie shadows across the walls before going still again. Jefferson explained that no one was working in those areas at the time, and the lights had never malfunctioned before. Whatever was moving around that night seemed to have chosen the perfect time to make itself known. Subscribe as this story will continue in future videos. Barry was home alone one quiet evening, while his wife and kids were all out doing their own thing. In all the years they'd lived there, nothing strange had ever happened in the house, so when he started hearing faint, unusual sounds, he decided to start filming just to see if he could catch anything.
Okay. That just moved. Wonder if it will move again.
The camera points towards a toy in the living room, perfectly still at first. Then, without any warning, it begins to move on its own, the rope moving to the right as it shifts visibly. Barry stays silent, his breathing uneasy, as he realizes there's no logical explanation for it. The windows were closed, there was no draft, and the family cat, the only animal that could have nudged it, was upstairs the entire time. He lets out a small acknowledgement and is uneasy due to something unseen having just pulled it. The incident ended up leaving Barry stunned and whispering under his breath, completely unsure what he'd just witnessed in what was supposed to be a normal, quiet night at home. The following video begins with a man filming a small ball sitting perfectly still in the middle of an empty room. There's nothing around it with no wind, no fans, and no sign of movement at all. However, Little did he know, something bizarre was moments away from taking place.
There it is. Oh my goodness.
A few seconds pass in silence before, out of nowhere, the ball starts to roll slowly on the floor, completely on its own. The man behind the camera immediately bursts into hysterical laughter, clearly caught between shock and disbelief. He keeps filming as the ball continues to move steadily until it finally comes to a stop in the same place it started. There's no one else in the room, and the footage clearly shows no strings or wires attached. The clip ends there, and nobody knows what happened next, but whatever made that ball move seemed to do it with purpose. Magnus was out walking through the woods when he came across an old abandoned house, hidden behind a line of trees. The place looked forgotten, clearly not inhabited, and surrounded by silence. Curiosity got the better of him, so he started filming as he made his way closer.
Oi, hva? Den gamle driten her, da. Faen, ass.
He steps onto the porch and then knocks on the door 6 times, each knock echoing through the empty forest. After getting no response, he slowly pushes the door open and steps inside. The air is thick with dust, the kind of stillness that makes every sound feel louder. He flips on a light, revealing peeling wallpaper and broken furniture scattered around the room. Calling out once or twice to check if anyone's there, he gets nothing back but the creak of the old house beneath his feet. After a moment, he decides to head upstairs, camera in hand. His footsteps grow slower as he reaches the top. Then, just as he lifts the camera toward the landing, a pale face suddenly peers over the balcony at him. Magnus screams in shock and bolts back down the stairs. He vowed to never visit this place ever again. A widow named Jess had been filming her closet for a few nights in a row, after claiming strange things kept happening whenever she turned her camera off. This time, she decided to catch it on film, once and for all. She started recording with the camera, speaking softly but clearly, calling out to something she believes is in there with her.
You just did it! Derek, come on, do it again! Derek, you just did it every time. Every time, Derek. I turn the camera off and you do it. Come on, man. Derek, please. Show yourself. Derek. Derek, come on, babe. Your wife wants to know you're here. Come on. You just did it. Soon as I stopped the camera. Derek, come on, man. Stop being a stubborn ass. Derek? Please? Please do it for me, Derek. Derek, if you love me, you'll do it. If you love me, you'll do it. Ugh. Alright, fine. I'm turning the camera off. Shh, maybe you'll do it now. Derek! Derek! Well, fine, you stubborn ass. Oh my God!
Jess refers to the spirit as Derek, the name of her late husband, with that every time she stops recording, something moves or makes a noise inside that closet, and she is certain it was him. Her tone shifts between nervous and hopeful as she starts asking him to do something again, just to prove she isn't imagining it. She looks toward the door and beckons Derek, even saying if he doesn't do it, then he doesn't love her. There's silence for a few seconds, the camera fixed on the dark outline of the closet door. Jess then says she's turning the camera off, pretending to end the recording. For a moment, nothing happens. Then, faintly in the darkness, a shadow shifts inside the closet, fast and unmistakable, as if someone or something had just stepped aside. After reviewing the footage, Jess decided to go one step further and see what might actually be behind the strange activity. Inside the closet where she'd seen the shadow, there was a small staircase leading up to the attic. She hadn't been up there in years, but this time she filmed herself climbing it.
Y'all wanted me to come up to the attic, okay? This is a wall that y'all saw some shit on. And these are the stairs. Like, my husband has all his clothes, of course. But if you look up there, there's no windows. I'm not going all the way up there because it scares the shit out of me. There's no windows. There's a sofa, some mirrors, a chair, his clothes, but there's no windows up here, okay? There's nothing up here that would have done anything. See? No window. No window. No windows. Nothing. Absolutely nothing up here. Other than like his toolboxes and a chair. I'm not going up here because it's too scary for me. But there are some mirrors, which is weird for an attic. A fan. See, there's no windows. This is my attic. There's nothing up here that could have done that shit. Alright, I'm getting the here because it feels weird.
The camera shakes slightly as she reaches the top and pans around the small space. There are no windows, no vents, no gaps in the ceiling, nothing that could have caused the movement or shifting shadows she'd captured earlier. It's a cramped, quiet attic filled only with old items. Jess explains that she wanted to show everyone there was no logical explanation, no wind or light source that could have made what she saw. The silence in the parts of the clip where she doesn't speak is heavy, the kind that makes you think something could move again at any moment. After the video, she admits she doesn't feel safe in the house anymore and plans on moving soon, thinking that maybe Derek isn't at peace here either. The clip fades out as she takes one last look at the attic before heading back down the stairs. Ian of the Midwest, the well-known ghost hunter, is back investigating the same haunted factory that's featured in several of my previous videos. For anyone new, this is the abandoned industrial site where countless reports of footsteps, cold spots, and shadow figures have been captured on camera. This next part takes place around 13 minutes and 27 seconds into his recording, right as Ian decides to check out the basement level of the building.
Let's make some more noise. Jesus. See, what do we hear? God, I hope there's no more bats. It's bad enough dealing with the spirits alone. Is there anyone down in this basement? Was that you? Who just made that noise? Could you make that noise again? Oh, it is like a very, very old building, so it's gonna make all kinds of noises. But they sounded pretty deliberate. Let's go ahead and check out this area. I don't know if this is where the sounds came from. Oh wow, you see these?
He calls out into the darkness, asking if anyone is down there with him. For a few seconds, there's only silence. Then a faint sound of movement echoes from below. Ian freezes, then asks the spirit to make the noise again if it can hear him. Just a few seconds later, another sound rings out, clearer this time, almost as if responding to his request. The fact that it listened and repeated the sound makes it hard to call this an anomaly. It was interactive, intelligent, and most importantly, real. Subscribe to see what happens as this investigation continues, so you don't miss any important parts of Ian's tales. Henrique had started recording that night after his young daughter mentioned hearing weird tapping sounds coming from near her cabinet while trying to fall asleep. Wanting to prove it was nothing, Henrique turned on his phone camera and began filming the quiet room, pointing the camera toward the cabinet where his son usually slept beside.
O que vocês fariam se vocês... Não, acabei, eu juro por Deus, eu vi negócio preto aqui do lado da... até acordou, cara.
For the first few seconds, nothing seems strange, just a normal night. Then, suddenly, a shadow passes across the window beside the bed, moving too fast and too high to be anything outside. A split second later, a loud bang echoes through the room, startling him. He rushes to the window to check, but when he looks out, there's nothing. The yard below is empty, and since the window is on the second floor, no person or animal could have walked by. Henrique stays silent for a moment, the camera still recording, trying to make sense of what he just saw. The shadow shouldn't have been possible, and yet it was right there, just inches away from where his son had been sleeping hours before. In the following video, Zane and a group of friends had been out riding a large loader-style vehicle late at night, the kind used mostly in construction or transport. They'd started filming simply because the moon looked incredible that night, big and bright above the houses on the road. Everything seemed fine until, without warning, the vehicle suddenly lost power and came to a stop.
How big the moon is, it's really big. Anyway, it's pretty cool. the hell? No. No, 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 no. Wait, there's nothing there.
You can hear them joking at first, trying to figure out what happened, but confusion quickly replaces laughter when they realize there's no mechanical reason why it shut off. While filming the breakdown, Zane pans the camera slightly, catching the reflection in one of the side mirrors. Behind the vehicle, clear as day, stands a man. He's motionless, perfectly still, and yet when the group turns around to look in real life, there's nobody there. The spot behind them is completely empty. They replay the clip several times, trying to understand what they saw, but every time, the figure is visible only in the mirror. It wasn't one of them, and it wasn't a trick of the light. Just a man standing in silence behind their vehicle, gone the second they looked. For 8 long years, a woman had lived in this same house, and even after all that time, the strange things that happen inside still manage to shake her. This video is just another reminder of why she's never truly gotten used to it. She starts filming while sitting down, focused on the doorway ahead, as something that hinted something was about to happen had come. Faint knocking sounds can be heard, light but repetitive, echoing from somewhere down the hall. It's rhythmic, almost patient, like someone quietly trying to get her attention. She hesitates before standing up, the camera trembling slightly as she walks through the hallway toward the front room. Each step she takes seems to make the knocking fade, until, right as she reaches the end of the hall, it stops completely. The silence that follows feels heavy, like the house itself is holding its breath, waiting for her next move. We do not know what her next course of action was, but I definitely hope she's made an effort of banishing it for her own good. The farmland behind the house in the next video stretched out for acres, quiet and open, the kind of place that always felt peaceful no matter the time of day. But this afternoon, that calm didn't last long. After hearing some strange sounds earlier, Ethan Ryder decided to step outside to check things out. Little did he know that something sinister was waiting.
Oh gosh. So I got the stray cat out here, right? Now I'll check in on it. This thing's cute as f. And I'll look up. What the f? I'm gonna go look over. Real quick. Y'all see it? Oh, y'all see that shit though? Is this disappearing?
He unlocks the door and steps into the sunlight, spotting a stray cat sitting near the steps, looking harmless and almost comforting. But as Ethan looks past it, his camera catches something across the yard. Far out at the edge of his garden, a tall, black figure is standing there, completely still, facing directly toward him. It doesn't move an inch, even in the wind. Ethan starts walking closer, trying to figure out who or what it is, but just as he gets a little nearer, the figure vanishes right before his eyes. In broad daylight, With nothing to hide behind, it simply disappears. This was, of course, extremely disturbing. In the follow-up clip, Ethan decided to take his investigation further by heading into the basement, a part of the property he'd always avoided. The place was a complete mess, with it being dusty, cluttered, and filled with old furniture and boxes stacked against the walls. He had no idea that something else was down there too, though. Take a look.
I'm in the basement. I'm about to talk to this ghost or whatever it is. It's pretty scary. If you can't tell, my basement is scary as hell. But let's talk to it. Is there anybody in here? If you're in here, show yourself. Oh no, y'all see that? What the fuck? Oh hell no. Is that a door? Oh hell no, hold up. Is anybody in here? Oh hell no, I'm out. I'm out this place.
He starts recording, trying to talk to whatever might be there, asking if anybody's down there with him. His voice echoes slightly as he asks it to show itself, waiting in the stillness for any kind of response. A few seconds later, something suddenly drops in the far corner of the basement and bounces across the floor like a small rubber ball being tossed out of nowhere. Ethan swings the camera toward the noise, but there's no one there, just empty space and darkness. Realizing he's completely alone, panic sets in. Though the video cuts off soon after, Ethan later admitted that he bolted out of the basement, convinced something unseen had responded to him. After posting the basement video, Ethan's comments were flooded with viewers daring him to go back outside and try talking to whatever he had seen before. Against his better judgment, he decided to do it. This time, he filmed himself walking through the same open farmland, heading straight toward the spot where that black figure had first appeared. Would it appear again? You'll have to watch and discover for yourself.
So I got told to go talk to it. So I'm gonna go talk to it. It's dark as out here. I can't see shit. I see a few trees. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's dark as yeah, and scary as hell. Oh hell no! What the f is that? What the? Oh hell no!
The area looked calm again with nothing unusual and no sign of movement anywhere. He communicated with his camera to talk to the viewers and then stopped for a moment. For a few moments, there's only silence and the sound of wind brushing through the grass. Then Ethan turns the camera around toward the house and freezes. In the downstairs window, a dark, human-shaped silhouette is standing perfectly still, facing him. It's the same figure from before, only now it's inside his home, staring down at him through the glass. Ethan gasps and immediately starts running back across the yard, the footage shaking violently as he tries to get away. That's where the clip ends. According to viewers, Ethan Ryder was never heard from again. We can only hope that he is okay. Jack works night shifts as a cleaner in a large office complex, often by herself for hours at a time. Recently, she'd been telling people that strange things kept happening while she was cleaning, such as doors opening on their own, lights flickering, and footsteps echoing through empty hallways. To prove she wasn't imagining it, she decided to set up a few cameras around the building to see if he could capture anything unusual. Fortunately for her and our entertainment, one of them succeeded. One of those cameras ended up recording something that she still can't explain. In the footage, everything looks normal at first, just a quiet office hallway with a single door at the end. Then, for a brief moment, a blurred face appears in the small glass window of the door, almost like someone is peeking out from behind it. The face lingers for a second, before quickly retreating out of sight. Jack swears she was completely alone that night, and the CCTV from the rest of the building confirmed that nobody else was there. Whatever was behind that door wasn't supposed to be in the building at all and had an unwelcome stay. After the first clip went viral, Jack decided to start filming firsthand to prove she wasn't just relying on security footage. This time, she set her phone up while finishing her cleaning duties in the same room where the face had appeared days earlier. She explains that while taking the trash out, she heard a faint voice nearby, which is what made her start recording in the first place. The office is silent with the light on, and every sound feels amplified as she walks around trying to show there's nobody there.
Okay, so I'm doing the trash. This is the same room that had that face right here. And I was cleaning this bathroom, and I had my phone on this cart. Right? I just heard
For most of the recording, nothing seems out of the ordinary, just Jack moving around the room and talking. But right near the end of the clip, as she's about to stop recording, a soft whisper can be heard coming from somewhere off camera. It's quiet, but unmistakable, a chilling voice that simply says hello. Jack freezes for a moment before the clip ends abruptly. Whether it was the same presence caught on camera before, or something new entirely, she's now more convinced than ever that she isn't alone in that building. At around 5:30 in the morning, Brandy was asleep when she suddenly woke up to the sound of whispering right beside her bed. At first, she thought she must have dreamed it, but something about the feeling in the room made her grab her phone and start filming, just in case. She gets out of bed slowly, still groggy, and begins walking toward the corridor in her room. The house is dark and completely silent, except for her footsteps, until she suddenly stops. A strange noise echoes from further down the hall, followed by a couple of soft but unmistakable knocks, almost like someone was tapping on the wall. Brandy freezes, whispering under her breath, clearly realizing she hadn't imagined anything at all. The whispers that woke her up were just the beginning, and whatever made those knocks was still somewhere out there in her home. In the next part of the footage, things take an even stranger turn. Brandy was dog-sitting for a friend that morning and had brought her own dog over too, so there were two of them in the house. They had been playing only minutes earlier, totally calm, until something changed out of nowhere. Take a look. The black dog suddenly freezes in front of the hallway wall, staring at it with its fur raised, before letting out a low, warning growl. Within seconds, it starts barking aggressively at seemingly nothing non-stop, as if something on the other side was provoking it. The second dog, confused, but clearly sensing something too, begins pacing around the room, sniffing the air, and acting visibly unsettled. Brandy keeps filming, showing there's nothing on the wall, nothing in the corridor, nothing they could possibly be reacting to. But the switch in their behavior from playful to terrified was instant, almost like both dogs saw or heard something she didn't. Whatever had whispered to her earlier clearly wasn't done making itself known, and now even the animals were reacting to it. A few days later, Brandy posted once again when things escalated, and this time it's something physical she can't ignore. She explained she was about to start cooking later that same day when she walked into the kitchen and noticed something unusual on the front of her freezer door.
Okay, y'all, check this out. I was
going about to cook, and I found this hand, or whatever you call this, on my icebox. Now look at my left hand compared to this thing right here. Look at that. It's not me. I don't have any kids. Just a dog, as you can see right here. Just a dog, and that's surely not his. So what the hell is this? And it's got four fingers. And look how small. What the hell is that? God. If anybody can tell me what this is, please let me know. Thank you.
There was a clear handprint smudged across the metal surface, oily and distinct enough to make out the shape of the fingers. Confused, she placed her own hand over it to compare the size, and it wasn't even close. The print was noticeably smaller, almost like it belonged to something with short, narrow fingers. Brandy doesn't have kids, and it was obviously nothing like her dog's paw shapes either. Some people in the comments tried to calm her down by saying it was probably a raccoon or some kind of animal pressing against the freezer, but the shape didn't match anything like that. And considering everything else that had happened, from the whispering, to the knocks, to the dogs reacting to something unseen, this felt way too connected to be a coincidence. Brandy admitted she's now seriously considering selling the property altogether, because whatever is in that house seems to be getting bolder every single day. The next clip looks like it was filmed on an older phone because the camera quality is really rough, but that almost makes what happens even creepier. The person recording is walking through what seems to be an empty building, opening and closing doors as they go, just to show that nobody else is inside. They push open the first door, glance inside, then shut it again before heading toward another one farther down the hallway. During the clip, they went on to open the second door and step into a completely empty room, their footsteps echoing off the walls. Inside that room is yet another door, this one slightly older and heavier. As they approach it, a sudden loud bang echoes through the entire complex, like something hit a wall or slammed something nearby. The camera jolts, but they keep filming and reach for the handle. When they open the door and quickly close it again, the door almost seems to resist for half a second, like something was pushing from the other side. And if you look closely, when they turn the camera around, a faint figure is standing in the far corner of the room they had just stepped into, barely visible but definitely there. Whatever it wasn't supposed to be in that building at all, and was certainly having an unwelcome stay. On the morning of the solar eclipse, the Lowry family decided to check their home's CCTV because they had been hearing odd noises around the house for the past few nights. What they found on the footage from earlier that day was far stranger than anything they were expecting. The camera shows one of the family members walking into their living room, just going about their morning like normal, when suddenly something shocking occurs. As they step fully into the room, the audio picks up something that immediately stands out. A faint, ghostly voice whispers from somewhere off-screen, asking, how did they find it? As if referring to something hidden or secret inside the home. The person on camera screams and sprints to his mother as fast as humanely possible, making things even more creepy. With the eclipse already creating a strange atmosphere, the timing of this only made the whole situation even more unsettling for the Lowrys, who had never captured anything like this before. In a follow-up video, Noni decided to talk directly to her viewers about what really happened in that CCTV clip, clearing up a few details people had been asking about. She explains that the person walking into the room that morning wasn't an adult at all, but her 11-year-old son. He had been innocently making noodles in the kitchen and ran upstairs afterward, completely unaware that anything strange had been captured behind him.
Hey TikTok, it's your girl Noni, and I'm here with the story time y'all requesting about our little ghost girlfriend. Okay, so yesterday y'all know I posted a video of my son, who's 11, by the way, y'all, because I know a lot of people keep saying like, oh, you can't be afraid, you can't feed off of it, you can't run. He's 11. He doesn't understand, he doesn't know. This is his first encounter. This is, you know, something new and fresh to him, so he really doesn't understand. But I'm gonna try to do this quick and probably do a part 2, part 3 if I have to. He wants to tell his side also, so I'm gonna let him do his own little video on his own. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so he gets up around 7 a.m. every day, and he decided to make some noodles, which he told me that he was making for lunch to take to school. So he was in the kitchen making some noodles. He said that he heard a voice coming from the cabinets that said to him, how did you find me? When he dropped his noodles, he ran upstairs, came busting in my room, jumping all over my bed, hiding in the corner, screaming and hollering, saying he didn't want to die. Somebody was in the house, telling me to get mine because somebody was in the house. And I'm like trying to tell him to calm down, be quiet, so I can hear what he's saying. Like, nobody's in the house. I kept telling him, nobody's in the house, like, calm down. What is wrong? What happened? But like, he kept yelling, and I'm like, calm down. So then I call my dad, and I'm like, Dad, man saying somebody in the house, he won't get out of my room so that I can get them out the closet so I could figure stuff out, and he would not move.
Noni goes on to say that when he reached the top of the stairs, he actually asked her to get the gun, claiming he heard someone whispering in the house. Hearing her son say that shook her badly because he had no idea about the voice the CCTV recorded. He reacted purely to what he experienced in the moment. That unexpected fear from an 11-year-old made the whole incident feel far more real and believable to her, confirming that whatever whispered during the eclipse wasn't just a glitch or background noise. A few days later, the Lowrys' CCTV captured something else that only made the situation feel even more unsettling. This time, the same 11-year-old boy is downstairs with his older brother, and he's visibly upset. He keeps telling his brother not to leave him alone, clinging to him while wiping his eyes.
Do not leave me, please. I'll do anything. Please. I'll do anything.
The footage shows the older brother trying to reassure him, but before he can even finish speaking, the younger boy suddenly jerks his head toward the hallway, as if he heard something again. Without warning, he sprints off toward the stairs in full panic, leaving his brother stunned. Whatever he heard wasn't picked up clearly on the camera, but the way he reacted made one thing obvious. Whatever whispered to him the morning of the eclipse didn't just stop with that one incident. For those new to the channel, Jefferson works the night shift at one of the most notoriously haunted hotels in the area. In previous footage, we saw strange activity in the kitchen and lobby that couldn't be explained. In this new clip, the action picks up in the hotel kitchen once again.
And here goes the finale.
The CCTV shows the kitchen quiet at first, with nothing moving. Then, without any contact, several items on the counter start shaking violently, rattling plates and utensils. One of the objects suddenly launches itself off the counter, bouncing across the floor with a loud clatter. There's no one in the kitchen, no staff nearby, and nothing that could have caused the movement. Jefferson later confirmed that the counter was completely clear when he arrived for his shift. Whatever was responsible clearly hasn't slowed down, and this footage only adds to the growing list of unexplainable events at the hotel. In the following video, a man was walking through a storage complex late at night when he noticed something strange reflecting off the side of a stack of boxes. At first, it looked like the shadow of a person standing completely still, but the moment he turned the corner to see who was there, the entire space ahead of him was empty. Take a look.
Quiero que chequen algo en esa tarima de ahí. Eso. Y chequen, estoy yo solo. No hay nadie aquí. Ni de este lado, ni para acá. Vean. Nada. Puto almacén. Vacío está su pinche madre.
He slowly walks down the long, stretched aisle between the rows of storage units, sweeping his light left and right as he passes each gap. But there's nobody. The space is silent, the concrete floors untouched, and no weird sounds echo. The shadow he saw moments earlier should have belonged to someone standing right there, yet there's no sign of movement, no footsteps, and nowhere to hide. By the end of the clip, he's fully convinced he saw something that wasn't human, and he wasn't wrong. Later on, security footage from the facility was checked, and it confirmed that not a single person entered or exited during the time he filmed. Whatever cast that shadow wasn't supposed to be there, and it left no trace behind except the moment it revealed itself. Basements are the most likely place in somebody's house to be haunted, and for Taz, that idea has basically become a daily reality. Activity in his basement has picked up so much recently that he now films every single time he goes down there, just in case something happens. This time, he was carrying a load of laundry down the stairs, trying to act normal, even though he admits the place never feels empty.
A ghost lives in my basement. Activities have picked up, so I decided to record every time I go down there. This time I caught it on video.
He sets the laundry on the counter, the camera catching the whole room behind him while he starts sorting through clothes and loading them into the washing machine. Everything is quiet for a moment, just the sound of fabric rustling, until something in the background suddenly moves. A bright yellow object sitting on the wall shifts on its own in a very obvious way, like someone nudged it. Taz doesn't notice at first, still focused on the washer, but the object continues to wobble before collapsing entirely a few seconds later, falling off the shelf as if pushed. There's nobody else in the basement, no draft, nothing touching it. This wasn't a light object being blown over either. It was something heavy enough that it only ever moves when something interacts with it. For Taz, it's just more evidence that whatever is living in that basement hasn't calmed down at all and might actually be getting stronger. In a haunted housing complex, the Scottish Ghost Company returned to one of the strangest locations they've ever investigated, an abandoned multi-house property where they've had responses before. It's just the two of them, a man and a woman, walking slowly through the empty rooms with nothing but their flashlights cutting through the darkness. They remind viewers that nobody else is anywhere in the entire complex, and the silence around them feels impossibly heavy. Eventually, they step into a room they call one of the most active spots in the building and greet whatever spirit might still linger there. They ask if it can open the door for them, half expecting nothing to happen, but of course, something does.
Hi everybody, I know you can't see us very well, but we are here.
Hi!
Hi. We are alone in a building which, sorry, I'm just going to turn you around. Yeah, we are alone in this old
Warehouse complex.
We have set up our own video. We've been live on Facebook and we've had quite good responses from a door moving on its own in here.
So the only other living person is the security guard, who is about 3 buildings away. So there's absolutely nobody except us in the whole area.
So we've heard so many loud bangs in here. So we're going to try and do it again. Hi Spirit, we're back again. Is it? There we go. Well, when we left this, it was open.
It was wide open.
Spirit, if you're still with us, I know I said I wasn't coming back. Could you...
I'm so impressed with what you were able to do.
Can you open the door, please, if you're still with us?
Oh my god.
Thank you so much. What was that?
Oh my god.
Okay, Spirit, thank you. Can you close it again, please? Close the door over, please. We're really impressed. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my god.
Well done. Now...
A moment later, the door begins to move, slowly and smoothly, swinging fully open without a single creak. Both of them stare with wide eyes, shocked, but keeping surprisingly calm as they thank the spirit. Then they ask if it can close the door again multiple times, but there's a brief pause before the door gently pulls itself shut, the same smooth movement as before. The whole interaction is clear, controlled, and impossible to explain, but at least the investigators and I got content. A team of paranormal agents were visiting a preserved heritage home that once caught fire decades ago. They had been invited to document any lingering activity, and on this particular night they decided to use a Ouija board, along with a few basic pieces of equipment to see if anything would respond. The room was calm at first, quiet except for the soft beeps of their devices checking for movement or EMF spikes. Take a look.
Steven was a name that we had come to know throughout our time there that could potentially unravel some of the story that we had come to find out.
So we're trying to see if anybody's here.
Maybe somebody named Steven or...
Immediately the REM pod as soon as he said Steven.
And it hasn't gone off.
It hasn't gone off
in
even
hours.
During the live stream. It didn't go off at all. And solid. It did go off earlier that one time in the bathroom, but...
That's really weird.
What was that?
Yeah, you heard that too?
Yeah. It was a shh. I heard something behind me. Oh my god. Okay, let's say goodbye.
As soon as one of them mentioned the name Stephen, a former resident who lived there before the fire, the equipment lit up instantly, as if something was acknowledging the name. Shortly after, they heard something strange say, "Find me to them both," as if beckoning them to explore this place further. Both investigators froze, shocked by how clear and direct the message was. While they tried to process it, something else in the room started drawing their attention. On the far wall, an old decoration hanging from a hook began to gently sway back and forth, even though nobody was near it. The rest of the room remained still. No windows open, nothing that could have caused it. The timing made it feel like Stephen, or whatever answered to that name, was trying to guide them somewhere, or warn them of something he could not show himself. The agents quickly realized they were dealing with something intelligent, and this heritage home still held more secrets than anyone imagined. It started as one of those nights where the silence feels heavier than sleep, and this guy at Camp Shields in Okinawa, Japan, could tell something was off the moment he sat up in the dark feeling watched. He had just thrown his helmet toward the door where he swore the presence came from, and now he was talking into the empty room like he expected something to answer, almost pleading for the ghost to show it was real. It had already woken him up, so why not continue?
I didn't just see a hand. You mad or what? You mad I threw that helmet at you? Do it again. Make some noise. Show me you're real. Island. Show me. Satan ass motherfucker. Show me. Prove to me that you're real. Do it. What, you mad? Show me. Swing some shit. Make them noises and shit that you did when you woke me up. Do it. Do it. Do it. Oh my gosh, bro.
He waits, hears knocking like the ghost is getting mad, and an orb crosses the screen. The moment that orb drifts by, his whole energy shifts because he knows he didn't imagine that knock, and he definitely didn't imagine something moving across the room. You can hear the nervous laugh behind his voice, but also that moment of regret when it hits him that maybe he pushed a little too hard. People always think they want proof until the lights go quiet again, and you're alone with whatever just answered you, and he suddenly seems very aware that asking for a sign might have invited something closer than he ever expected. It picked up right where he left off, the room still feeling tight and charged, like the air didn't reset after that orb passed, and he kept the camera pointed at the corner because he swore something was still moving in there. He tried to steady his breathing, but before he even got close to being calm, the cupboard behind him opened and slammed shut like something inside was answering with attitude.
Part 2.
Hey! Hey, chill the out. I'm tired of your shit. Hey! Cut that shit off. Shut the fuck up.
He turns, trying to get a good angle while filming as 2 knocks hit from inside the cupboard. He tells it to chill the fuck out. Then a harsh scraping sound erupts, followed by something falling to the floor. The sound sends him spinning back toward the camera, because that scrape was way too real and way too close for him to pretend it was nothing. And you can hear in his voice that it is no longer curiosity pushing him forward, but straight up panic holding him in place. There is this moment where he just freezes, staring at the cupboard like he is waiting to see if whatever is in there is going to come out. And you can tell he knows he crossed a line. He had asked for proof, and now it felt like something was trying to claw its way into the room just to give it to him, and that regret hit him harder than anything the ghost could throw. It was one of those late-night walkthroughs, where the building feels older than its walls, and the Ogden Paranormal Investigations team had barely stepped into the Salt Lake City Clubhouse before realizing the place carried a kind of quiet that did not belong to an empty structure. They set a camera in one of the lower rooms, letting it run while they explored, and you can hear their footsteps echoing above like the spirits had already started listening. One of the investigators went out of frame and called out to whatever was on the top floor, asking it to come downstairs and join them, because he wanted to see if the place really lived up to its reputation.
That's you upstairs. You're more than welcome to join us here in the basement. We'd love to talk to you.
Right after I ask the spirits on the first floor to join us downstairs, an anomaly moves from the top of the screen towards the basement staircase. Watch again with the image enhanced.
That's you upstairs. You're more than welcome to join us here in the basement. We'd love to talk to you. Upstairs, you're more than welcome to join us here in the basement. We'd love to talk to you.
As he finishes asking, an orb shoots through the ceiling area on the camera feed and drops downstairs, like it heard the invitation. The second that orb comes through the roofline, nobody has to say anything because you can feel how fast the mood shifts from casual investigation to the realization that something actually responded. The investigator who called out suddenly sounds unsure about his own words, and the room feels heavier, like whatever moved through the floor did not come alone. Moments like that remind them that sometimes the spirits do not wait for permission. They take an invitation as a door opening. Upstairs, the camera had been running quietly, pointed down the dim hallway where the team hadn't walked yet, and the air up there already seemed thicker on the recording, like something was hovering just out of frame in the doorway. The investigators were still reacting to the orb dropping through the roof downstairs, completely unaware that the upstairs feed was catching something even stranger.
We had more potential evidence from night 1, but without the handheld footage, we could not verify its validity. However, that does not take away from an experience Jocelyn will not soon forget.
The empty hallway sits still for a few seconds before a soft but clear voice says hello near the camera. The moment that single word comes through, it cuts through the silence in a way that doesn't sound like an echo or a creak, or any of the usual building noises they're used to, and it feels more like a direct acknowledgement from whatever they had called down. It's the kind of greeting that doesn't feel friendly or hostile, just aware, like something wanted them to know it heard the invitation and was deciding whether to follow. And when the investigators later reviewed the footage and heard that hello, you could see the realization hit them that they weren't just exploring a haunted clubhouse, they were talking to something that was willing to answer back. Elderly woman decided to film a short Q&A at home after viewers in her previous videos suggested there might be something wrong with her house. Sitting comfortably in her chair, she answered questions as someone behind the camera read them out loud. It all seemed harmless with her voice being calm, the tone light-hearted, but the atmosphere in the room said otherwise.
Like there's things that are flying off the shelves and things.
I saw it once. Yeah, I saw it once.
Alright, we're going one more. This is from a lady called Miss Butterfly Lady. The ghosts are pissed off with the clutter in your house. So she's saying your house is very messy. Can you explain why your house is messy?
I'm waiting to go out to see to the new year, and the house is messy because Nathan, who is my young son, he would
grandson.
Help clear it up.
Grandson. I'm your grandson then.
My grandson, I mean.
Yeah, so you wouldn't help clear it up. Alright then. So there was one more question. A lady said, there's a lot of booze in your house. You know the bottles you got over there? She said, can you explain why you got so many bottles?
Well, I don't drink it myself. So I collect them when somebody gives me some more, win it in a raffle.
How old did you say they are though?
How old were they?
Yeah, how old would you say all those bottles are?
Well, I don't know. There seemed to be a lot there. But I've got rid of some of it.
Oh, they're quite old though, aren't they?
Yeah, very old.
So yeah, we got 100,000 views. We got now 368 3,600 followers, subscribers. Can you say any final words to the people, the 120,000 people that saw the video last year on this exact day, as it's today is the 31st of December 2019, and tomorrow will be New Year's Eve. Tomorrow will be New Year's Day. So it's exactly a year ago it happened today, so we're doing an anniversary. So can you go?
I think it's all a load of bullshit.
Alright then. Alright, you got anything else to say to the people before we go?
That's what I said. What I said. I didn't mean to swear, but...
You don't like the internet and Wi-Fi and YouTube?
No, I don't get on with anything like that.
In the background, a string of Christmas lights began flickering at odd intervals, not like a loose connection, but in an uneven rhythm that drew attention once viewers noticed. Near those lights sat a small Santa ornament, perfectly still for most of the video, until the final moments. Towards where the clip ends, the Santa's arm twitches slightly, and several times, just enough to be noticed if you're really watching. The woman didn't seem to realize what was happening behind her, smiling and wrapping things up as the recording cut. But commenters were quick to point it out, with many saying they'd seen the same small movements in her past videos too. Whether it was a trick of the light or something else moving on its own, it left people uneasy, especially knowing she still lives there completely alone.